Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. This is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch. As you can see here, I have a series of reports concerning cyber attacks. All right, now I just came across this particular report concerning Coinbase. It says crypto exchange Coinbase faces up to 400 million hit from cyber attack. All right, and Coinbase, I believe that's one of the top trading platforms for cryptocurrency. So there's been a situation where customer data has been compromised. Okay. Now it says here, one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency firms, Coinbase, says a recent cyber attack will cost it up to 400 million, which is 304 million pounds. The firm said it was contacted by hackers who claimed to have gained access to customer information obtained by making payments to Coinbase contractors and employees. In a blog post, Coinbase said the criminals had gained access to less than 1% of its customer data, which they then used to impersonate the firm and trick people into handing over their crypto. It says the group then demanded 20 million from Coinbase to keep it quiet, but it refused to pay the bribe and instead promised to pay back every person who got scammed. Which, as a result, I believe that's where the $400 million figure comes from. So what we're seeing now is this whole cyber attack thing, is becoming, a standard. Okay? This is becoming a standard, ever since the power cuts a few weeks ago, in I believe it was Spain, Portugal, France, among a few other places, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty much becoming standard and becoming more reported concerning, cyber attacks and power cuts, so on and so forth. So this is all engineered chaos that the wicked elites are doing, to bring forth their wicked work, to bring forth their evil schemes concerning, this New World Order system. Okay? And that's why, the scriptures tell us, let's get it right quick. In 2 Corinthians 2:11, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And as you can see in the NLT, it says, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. Okay, because this is exactly, what we're witnessing right now. We're witnessing the evil schemes of the wicked elites of Esau Edom. All right, they're trying to bring forth this New World Order system. And these are the processes that are required, to bring forth them necessary evils and to cripple the people and to cause, mass fear and confusion upon the earth. All right. And hey, don't be surprised if you wake up one morning and, you can't log in to your banking app, or you log into your banking app and all your money's gone. Okay. We're living in them times where these things can really, happen. Okay. Or in the middle of the night, there's a power cut. Okay, we gotta be aware, of the times that we're currently living in. Okay, and you should have, candles, All right, you should have a torch. All right, you should have a substantial amount, of resources to tie you over. All right, in these particular scenarios. All right, now we're not doomsday preppers. All right, we don't over prepare, because first and foremost we prepare, through faith. All right, we prepare spiritually. We prepare through, the faith and the trust that we have in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, that's our main prep. That's our main way of preparing, for the heavy times to come. All right, because we are expecting miracles. People in the world are not expecting miracles. All right, people that are, ingrained in this society and are trying to survive that by doomsday prepping and, so on and so forth. They're not waiting upon the Lord's salvation, because it's not for them. Okay? So the way they prepare is on a carnal level. We prepare on a spiritual level. So again, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. All right? So these are all evil schemes that the wicked elites are using, again, to bring forth this New World Order system and this beast system, which is going to usher in the MOTB, the Revelation 13 and 16, as we always go into. Okay? So you had Coinbase. All right? I just see this today. All right? And also, you have a situation with Co-op. It says, Co-op says store is in much stronger position following cyber attack. Supermarket hit by a cyber attack as shelves bare. So you're having also reports of shelves, being empty. Co-op cyber attack sends customers into survival mode as stores look like bombs gone off. All right. So these things are happening on a more increased rate. And again, that's no coincidence. Sorry, we're having some availability issues which will be resolved shortly. All right? Power cuts. System blackouts. The cooperative group has said it is bringing its systems back online in a safe and controlled manner following a major cyber attack. The Manchester-based firm said it was now in a recovery phase after being forced to shut down some of its systems, which caused significant disruption across its retail chain and led to availability issues across its stores. So through these cyber attacks, power outages, so on and so forth, you can have situations such as this where you go into the store and you see no food on the shelves, which is going to send people into a frenzy, which is going to send people into panic mode. Okay? Now remember the scriptures say in Matthew 24, the heart of many, shall wax cold. Okay? And we're really going to start seeing that intensified in these last days. People are going to become more ruthless. People are going to become, more in that dog-eat-dog spirit, survival mode spirit, all out, for themselves spirit, okay? Because they're going to be operating in survival mode. And we've seen examples of this, during the C19, so on and so forth, the lockdowns, when you had all these idiots, running around trying to buy toilet paper, So these things are gonna bubble up again. All right, that was just the beginning. That was just a test run. And it's gonna bubble up all over again, man. All right, and again, power cuts, and grid outages, so on and so forth. Those scenarios breed a lot of chaos. Now it says here, M&S urges all customers to make one change after cyber attack exposes data. So we're getting a lot of information coming out concerning data compromisation. People's data being compromised, so your data is not safe. When you go on a website and you buy something online, from a company, from a particular enterprise, you got to add in, your card details, And a lot of the time, that can get saved on the system. And then your information, as they're saying, is now compromised when that particular company suffers a hack, okay, or a cyber attack. Okay, so how are they going to secure customers in the future and X out, those things from happening? All right, it all comes to that beast technology, man, which is going to end with the chip. So it says China-based hack targets UK companies in critical national security threat, says analysts. Dior becomes latest business. This is 7 hours ago. Dior becomes latest business to hit by a cyber attack. French luxury brand says hackers have stolen, which is probably going to go into customer data again. Yeah, hackers have stolen customer data. All right. So your data is continually being stolen, by these hackers, which is going to force them, to have to make a change to how business is conducted, to how information is transferred, to how things are purchased in society. So this is the things that they do. They set up these scenarios, which some of them could be genuine. You have real hackers out there. You have real cyber attacks, so on and so forth. But anything that happens, best believe that the wicked elites are going to utilize them scenarios to push their own agenda too. So yeah, some of them could be genuine, but mass majority of them, we know, it's engineered chaos to bring about, a particular motive, a particular result, which we already know the result, through biblical prophecy. So we're in that time, right? We're now in the time of cyber attacks and, grid outages, so on and so forth. And that is a very serious time, man. Okay? Because again, that can lead to people not being able to eat. Okay? That can lead to, people looting, stores. Okay? Data being compromised. People cloning, your personal identification, fraud increases, there's all kind of madness that can spiral, from data compromisation. And they know that, and this is why they're using, this avenue, in order to commence the forwarding of this new world order system, man. All right. Yeah, let's get another scripture and then we'll close out. This is Psalm 37 and verse 7, and it reads, "Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass." All right. And in the NLT, it says, "Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act." And that's exactly what we're doing. Okay. You have to be still in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You have to trust in the process and trust in the fulfillment of these prophecies that are coming to pass. Okay. And we're waiting patiently for Yahweh Shem Yahushai to act. All right. And when you go into the scriptures, a word that appears a lot of the time is what? Patience. Okay? Patience is a key ingredient, all right, that you need in order to endure and last to the end. All right? As the scriptures tell us, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. You need patience. That's a required ingredient. Okay? Which patience, goes into suffering. Right, so rest in the Lord, Psalm 37 and verse 7, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man that bringeth wicked devices to pass. All right, now who's the man that's bringing wicked devices to pass? All right, this is Esau Edom, all right, the wicked elites of Esau Edom bringing their wicked devices to pass. Now, in the NLT again, be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act, which is exactly what we're doing, waiting patiently for Yahweh Shem Yahushai to bring all of these prophecies to pass and to bring down, this devil, all right, the wicked elites of Esau Edom, and to set up the kingdom of heaven, all right, which is a people before it's a place. And it says, and wait patiently for him to act. Don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. So don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. All right. So all of these things you have transpiring upon the earth concerning, the bringing about of this new world order system, it's going to come with hardships. It's going to be a very, complex, set of situations that are going to be manifested upon the earth, which are not going to be easy, to navigate. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the elect will overcome. Okay, but again, the main point being, we don't fret about these wicked schemes. We don't fret about, have it in your mind of, how am I going to survive? How am I going to eat? How am I going to, sustain myself and my family? If you have a family, when all of these things are manifested upon the earth, when you need the chip to function on the grid, all right? We don't need to think of those things. We just got to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The Lord is going to have us, okay? Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to protect the elect in these last days, man. And that's the beautiful thing. So we don't have to worry, okay? So that's what I wanted to get out, right quick. I just wanted to bring out all of those, news pieces, all of those reports concerning these cyber attacks and these, these grid, power outages, so on and so forth. We definitely in that time, man. All right. So shalom.